We join the super legit crew before the show as we validate our guest. I think that's everything you need to know. Is there something I've forgotten, guys?
Be funny.
Here's what I'm going to say about David's nervousness. David,
Yes.
You're a good human being. You're going to be great on this show because we have all played with horrible monsters and had to make them look good. We're going to take joy in whatever you have to say. And so just feel free to let your voice be out there.
Yeah.
All right, I'll try and relax.
When we started the podcast, we had a regular guest who was Harvey Weinstein. So,
we promised to do a lot of stuff for our careers.
Yeah. Still waiting.
Boy,
He got me a podcast, so.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Super Legit Podcast. I am your host, Jett Kaufman, and I say it every time, but I am once again surrounded. Yes. Oh, gosh. Wow. Already interrupting the spiel. What you got, Josh?
Would you say that you are the hostess with the mostest? Because I think you are.
I appreciate that, Josh. I feel like I'm high up there, but I'm like the hostess with the morest. I think that's about the most I can go for.
You know, I think he's the hostess that doesn't boast us.
That's correct.
That's it. I'm going to stick with that one. Spoiler alert, but I'm surrounded by great people, and you've heard a few voices. Let's rattle them off real quick. We've got Josh Spence.
That's me.
That's you. We've got Stephen C. James.
Spit take in an audio form.
Yeah, I waited till you took that sip, and I gave you an extra second just to let you swallow that. We have Jen Burton.
That's what she said.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you.
We've got Chris Compton.
Hey!
We have the triumphant return of Ali Marr.
Yay!
Oh, snap. Hell froze over again.
Welcome back. We have
Thank you.
missed you.
Thank you.
And then we have my co-host, Michael Hyman. Hey, Michael.
Hello,
How's it going?
Jett. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah indeed.
Hanukkah.
Let's put a date stamp
That's
on
right,
this
happy
episode.
Yeah, why not? Listen, we're fast and loose.
Yeah, well, we're getting closer and closer to the release schedule. It's great.
Actually,
I'm excited
literally
about the year
faster
2000.
and maybe not looser. I don't know.
And I will say this. Michael Hyman is the co-host who loves to co-host.
Who
That is
eats a
correct.
lot
The
of
truest.
toast?
I got a lot of Josh respect for that one.
Yes, that's what you need right there. So, hey, Michael, who is our special guest for this week's episode?
Shit.
Jett, our very special guest this week, first time on the pod, someone who you might have seen visually his work visually on our socials and he's putting out there. It's David Burk. Welcome.
Yay.
Hello.
One of the best to
Hello
fucking
there.
do it.
Yeah. David Burk is our official artist. He made the Super Legit Podcast logo that you're probably all staring at on your phone right now while you listen to this.
Because this is not a visual medium.
Or you may have a shrine.
Yeah.
And I do typically, when I listen to a podcast, stare at my phone directly the entire time.
Uh-huh.
It's still playing?
It's
Yeah, it's still
natural.
playing. Good.
Even while
Very
driving.
slow show.
I just like watching that line move to the right.
David's also made some other fantastic, I would call it fan art because, of course, David, you are a fan of the show, but also you're just a great, legitimate artist who's not just like, I don't know. I don't want to denigrate people who just doodle for fun because that's beautiful. But like you are,
But you're going
a
to?
legitimate
Yeah,
artist
but
who
you are
has done
professional.
amazing stuff for us.
Thank you very much.
I will call into question your choice of subject matter because your most recent piece, I think, is perhaps igniting the ego a little too much of some.
It's sparking a revolution that's
One
going to
Josh
take over
Spence.
the nation.
I couldn't help myself. I just couldn't help myself, Hyman. I'm
fair.
sorry.
It's fair. It's fair, David.
Don't be sorry, baby. This is why you're on the podcast. People need to hear it. New co-host is going to be taking over soon.
Chris Compton is quite in favor of giving equal opportunity to both sides of a political issue. So I don't know. We might need some art for the don't vote for Josh Spence for co-host position. We'll
Which
see.
also is me, Josh Spence.
Here's what I have to say about the Michael Hyman, Josh Spence relationship.
It's fucking
every
weird.
Joe Biden needs a Dean Phillips. You know, you just need some guy who's like, I know it's not going to happen for me, but let me just get my name out there and keep plugging away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can, keeps us honest. Absolutely.
Very true.
Hyman, how does it feel to be Dean Phillips?
Wow.
I think you may have read this wrong.
Wrong lesson taken.
Yeah.
So hey, Michael, what is our question for this week's episode?
Jett, I'm so glad you asked. And I have here the question for this week.
He always is.
What's the first thing you ever created that you actually liked?
I guess the question I have to that is intentionally, like honestly, like you set out to make something, or are we talking about happy accidents here? Because like,
I mean,
talking about
like,
happy accidents
could be
we have to
true.
go-
Because there's
I
no
think
qualifier in that question.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a fair one, because I also think a lot of great creations came by accident. A lot of people have gotten into like their careers or their passions by accidentally doing something amazing, going, I could do more of this. So yeah, that's fine.
And I
Either
can
one.
ask this question without Chris Sanders giving me crap for it. What's up, Chris Sanders?
Chris Sanders
not
is
here,
not
right?
on the podcast tonight.
Yeah, okay,
Nope.
good.
No.
Thank God. Phew.
I've got a twofer because both were 2006, and one involved a gentleman in the mix here, one Chris Compton. So that year in March 2006, I graduated Second City, and we had our show, which our group name, which is they're all terrible. Ours was less terrible. Keep in mind, it was 2006 was I God, and we created a set of sketches. And I was genuinely like in love with that show. It had a great flow. It had a great connection. We had a great team with one person who shall remain nameless. That Chris ever so aptly said, "Listen, we're all running a relay, and we got to drag him across the finish line." And it was true. And it became one of those things where everybody was like, "All right, they say we got to make him look good. Let's make him look great."
Yeah. Imagine if Private Ryan and Saving Private Ryan was shot in the very first moment of the movie, but they had to carry him around for the rest of the film. It's like that.
You don't think this person knows
Yes.
who they are?
You know what? I bet not.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
And that
I
man
bet
was
not.
Ted Cruz.
Yeah. And then that same, like a couple months later, I directed a Western at my school that everything just fell together as far as like the writing of the script, my directing, the kids acting. And we had this dad who came in and built our set. And like one night, like I left work and he was there, and I came back and there was like a full Western town on our stage that he had
That's
created.
cool.
And it was just like this really wonderful experience. And I was just like, you know what? This is what it's going to be like every year from now on. And you know what? It's not like that. But there's always that point for you to have that litmus test of like, oh, there's this thing that I was a part of that really made me think I want to show this off to folks. Like Chris and I's Austin show that we did, our set at Austin. Like those are those moments where it's like, you know, there are episodes of the pod where I'm like, oh, this reminds me of that first time when I was just like, oh, this is a thing that I can do.
Yeah.
My answer was so different. Like, I was 7 years old, and I made a pet rock,
Prodigy.
and I still think about that pet rock. I loved it so much. I painted it yellow, and I gave it white spots, and I named it Spot, as you do when you're 7.
Yes.
Super.
Allie?
Yeah,
Is that Allie?
yeah.
It's me! It's Spot! Oh! It's been so long!
Spot!
Oh,
Oh my god. How did you
Yeah.
find me?
No, I just, was trying. I moved to LA a couple years ago.
I left you in a drawer next to my vibrator in the nightstand in Queens.
So, Allie, I just want to confirm this.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. You don't have to get up from lying down on the chair. So, Spot came out of nowhere to you.
Nowhere.
Magically.
Doctor, it was like, I mean, the funny thing is, like, I immediately recognized him, Like, I don't know if that's a rock thing, but he hasn't aged. I mean, it's been 35 years,
Okay, well, keep telling me more. Keep telling me more.
Oh, Allie, I mean, a few years ago, you came home for holidays. I hopped into your bag. It was really great. And then I decided, I'll lay low. No, not pressure her to, make connection. Maybe try to find my own way. It's been pretty good. It's been rough at times, but overall pretty good.
I mean, it's not that I'm not excited to see you. I guess it's just the voice I made up in my head for you. It's just so different that I'm having a hard time with this dissonance I'm feeling,
Well, Spot has had ups, Spot has had downs. Spot, once upon a time, I talked like
yes!
And then life came along.
You're smoother around the edges.
Yeah, a lot of that was being next to that vibrator. Just slowly but surely. You don't always flip the switch
off.
Let's not.
I almost set the apartment on fire once.
Let's not talk about bad times. Let's talk about future time. Lunch?
Oh yeah,
lunch.
Do you still like to eat grass? Because there's a lot of vegan spots that I can take you to.
It has been so long since I've had grass. Mostly dust. Would love grass.
I'm so happy you're here. I'm just wondering where you're planning on staying. Do you have somewhere to stay? Because you can stay with me, Spot.
Spot, sorry. Not room in palatial
No,
for 3-inch by 3-inch
That's
rock?
what I'm saying.
Apologies.
I'm saying you can stay with me.
Those Amazon boxes are new best friend you created? Entire stack of Amazon boxes. More important than Friends Since 7?
So you mean to tell me this guy came out of nowhere, your old pet Rocky, he thinks he's going to come in and replace me, your new best friend, Amazon box? Hell to the no, that's not happening.
Listen,
we're best friends now.
We are, but because I have a new best friend, it doesn't mean I get rid of my old one. I was wondering...
Allie, come on, it's you and me, it's Allie and Amy. We're two gossipy bitches getting new stuff all the time. We don't have time for a pet rock.
Amy, I want you to keep your mind open about this. I bought some fabric markers, and I thought we could make a habitat.
Allie, we're cool, right? What's Amy's story?
She's single.
Oh, okay, cool.
She's
cool.
Square?
That wouldn't be weird, right?
I'm sorry, the best definition you can come from me is square. Excuse me.
Amy,
Excuse me. I have a lovely hue to me, okay? I have a lot of good ink. Square? That's some fucked up shit, Allie.
I don't know how to talk to him. I haven't seen him since I was 7 years old. He knows nothing about me as
The
an
way
adult.
you describe him, he sounds like the Cookie Monster. I don't know. Do the Count impression.
So you still My Little Pony, right? Allie, you still
play with My Little Pony?
Yeah. Yeah, you still like a thing you're into, right?
Hey, that new vibrator came in. I don't know why it's called My Little Pony, but it's really fucked up.
Legit.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll say the show has gone through some changes over the last 30 years. It's a very different show. It's very empowered. It's the women are no longer just there to depend on male characters. So
I mean, we've gone from Fuckatron to My Little Pony now.
But yeah.
Yes! I love
Natural
this guy!
progression.
What they have in common is that friendship is magic.
Yes.
Which we can edit this out if you want to, Jett, but we do need to create a design for Fuckatron. We've been talking about it for a little while, so I'm glad you said that, David, because we're going to...
It's been in my head when I heard the episode, and I thought, how do I put this up on social media?
He said,
I
can't draw that.
Ugh is the correct response to Fuckatron at most times.
Yeah.
But we'll work on it. We'll work on it.
I always just pictured Michael Hyman with cardboard boxes.
Yes.
And then a huge dick. Like a hard And
is
that
it
was
like a mechanical dick, or is it?
It would be funny if it had like nuts and bolts, like holding it.
That'll have
nuts.
Yes. to be clear, do you mean this is how you pictured Fuckatron, or this is just how you picture Michael
Hyman having sex? Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh boy.
Okay, Jett.
It's just like, let me get my boxes. Hold on.
Never mind what I said. Leave all of this in.
I'm imagining that beginning with, "We can rebuild him. We have some technology."
Yeah.
We really need a wiki so that we can point our audience to where to find the Fuckatron episodes.
I do have an answer. So just to make sure we're clear, so I answer this correctly, I really feel the spirit of Chris Sanders tonight. What's the first thing you ever created that you actually liked? So it could be like whatever type of first you had, right? Because you can have different firsts at different times in your life, correct?
From my angle, it's just a thing that didn't exist before that you were responsible for existing.
2015, I get a recommendation from friend of the podcast, Will Reyes. He says, go to this place called Tacos El Venado on Victory Boulevard. I go there. He says, you're going to like this. They have burritos. I go, sir, look at me. I've had burritos. He's like, sir, trust me. You're going to like this. We get there. I tell them, they go, what type of burrito do you want? And I just go for the basic bitch package. I go, I'll have the carne asada. And then what they do is they make it, but they serve it open face. And I was like, hey, buddy, you need to fold this. And he goes, oh, no, sir. You get to put everything you want in this burrito, and then we'll fold it for you.
And so you went to Los Fuddruckers?
I went to Los Fuddruckers, and I got to make the power I had to make my own burrito.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing.
It's like Build-A-Bear, but
but you get to eat it.
Yeah.
With the right
I mean, you
amount
could
of
eat the bear
cilantro.
if you really tried.
It's fair, yeah.
I have. I like the bears. It's great. It's fantastic.
That's a great way to get kicked out of a Build-A-Bear.
Sounds great.
Hey, you can do anything we want with it once you pay for it.
Jalapenos in here. Sew the asshole up.
But I think it's an
Kiss the heart.
No.
I do think it's an interesting.
That's where all the flavor is.
I do think it's an interesting thing though, because like I've had burritos before. I've had all those same ingredients, but the fact that they said, "Hey, you can build this the way you like it," I gave it so much more value in my head because now I can make my own burrito, which I do every Tuesday.
I mean,
it's a perfect Josh answer.
Okay, Josh. Yeah, I am wildly confused by this answer, and I don't know whether to let it go.
God damn it, Sanders! What?
Because you say this as though you've never made a delicious burrito for yourself at home.
As if you're not.
But like at home, you've been like, "What the fuck do I do with this
amazing
tortilla?"
chef here in front of us. He's like, "This is the first time I've ever made my own burrito."
Also, did you say 2015?
Yeah,
that's
right.
Very
Yeah,
recent
that was
for
what
you.
jumped out at me is the first thing you did that you have taken any pride in your life.
Is make his own
was
burrito
2015.
somewhere else.
Because that's also the year we built an amazing improv team that started this whole chain that eventually led us to this too.
Wasn't as good as the burrito.
Yeah,
the truth.
But the burrito
comes
came
out.
first. Yeah,
right. True.
Yeah.
I wanted to provide a different answer. We're all improv guys. We're all gonna have those answers. What did we start off with? A Second City show. Ooh.
Super.
Welcome to the Museum of Culinary History. As you can see right here on this pedestal, we have an original Josh Spence.
Are we allowed to take photographs?
You can take photographs, yes. And you are allowed, this is an interactive piece, so you can get your fingers in there if you'd like.
Really?
This is an open-faced...
I've always wanted to get my fingers in a Josh Spence. This is amazing.
Well, who hasn't said that before? That's actually the under title of the show.
I see that.
Who hasn't wanted to get their fingers in Josh Spence? Any rate, this is a pulled pork burrito, open-faced.
Docent Elizabeth?
You can. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And I don't mean to make this a gotcha question, but don't they say that some of the critics say that an open-faced burrito is just a lazy tostada?
Yes, Josh Spence actually wrote a whole book refuting that reviewer's assessment.
I read it. It's
and
beautiful.
you know, basically what Josh said, and you can get a magnet in the gift store that says this. It says, any burrito that has the word burrito in it is a burrito. So if you think it's a burrito, then it is a burrito, and that's what makes you an artist, and that's what made Josh an artist.
The forward but was by Salman Rushdie. It was an incredibly moving book.
He was very close with Salman Rushdie. Josh actually helped Salman with his latest book. He did chapters 8 through 10. Anyway, let's keep moving.
Sir, this is a Subway that you put your own toppings on, or you tell us what toppings you like and we put it. So I guess if you want to call it a burrito, because the dough's, it's, there's meat on the inside, I guess you can, but we prefer to call them subs.
Are you a sandwich craftsman or a sandwich artist?
Sir, it's my second day. I'm a craftsman. Yes,
look,
sorry.
Everyone has an artist inside them.
Okay, Mr. Spence. Yeah.
What you see there? You see a bunch of ingredients.
Yes, sir.
I see potential.
Okay.
I want you to close your eyes. I want you to grab any bread. Now, any topping. Now, any meat.
Okay.
Grab. I said grab.
Okay. It's between my fingers and being smushed is the intensity.
Okay, I want you to cram those together. Now, cheese.
Okay.
And which of those identical mayonnaise tubes do you want to squirt on it?
The Dijon mayonnaise.
Okay. All right. They have them all together. Now I want you to, before you open your eyes, I want you to take a bite.
Is that necessary, Mr. Spence? This is truly the fourth.
Absolutely necessary.
Oh, okay.
Docent Elizabeth?
Yes.
I'm sorry to keep asking these sorts of questions, but are you guys still comfortable, displaying an original Josh Spence after his arrest for harassing that Subway employee?
We actually, our ticket sales went up 50% after he was arrested, so yes. Also, we have a video installation of the entire incident in the back room, as you can see our small theater back here. You can see it, it's on a loop. You can see it starting with him really trying to convince that sandwich craftsman that he could make a burrito if he was just willing to break out of his thought patterns into a new way of thinking.
I own the NFT of that video. It's the only NFT that still has any value.
Oh, that makes sense to me. At any rate, little known factoid, that man, that craftsman, that Subway craftsman, he did a massive fundraiser, and he was the one who bailed Josh out of jail. After all of that, he paid for him to get out.
You know what? The newspapers, they only report the salacious headlines. They never print the redemption stories.
No, they sure don't. Yeah. They're anti-art, I would say.
I think that might be why Baz Luhrmann's making that Josh Spence movie.
That's right. That's right. He's Moulin Burrito. It's
legit.
Going...
There's your episode title.
I really thought it would have been Reseda, Australia.
Yeah, Reseda. What's up? These are my favorite types of episodes.
Moulin Burrito.
Josh Spence
Moulin
episodes.
Burrito. Oh, okay.
I feel like David was going to say what his first thing was, and I want to hear it. Especially since he's an artist. Yeah.
Someone who actually creates.
Well, here's the thing about being an artist and like I haven't liked what I've created yet.
Yes.
It's like it could always be better.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that when I felt good about what I've created is when I've done it for other people or other situations. Like I did a piece for, oh gosh, I can't remember. There was a flooding that happened in, I think
Biblical
it was in
times?
but no, not the biblical one.
Okay.
Not the flood. Flooding.
I think it was in Texas, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a big deal. And I went ahead and I did a portrait of this police officer who was rescuing this lady.
Oh, wow.
Spread it around and used the art to try to raise money for the situation. And so word got back to the police officer, actually, and I got an email from him, and he was like, I really appreciate you doing this.
That's awesome.
And I'm like,
wow.
Yeah. I can't believe this, and so... yeah, it's not unless I do something, for other people that I don't feel good about. Yeah, but look, I look at my stuff and I'm like, yeah, I know I could do that one. I could have done that better, or that part.
I feel like that is what
the struggle. Yes.
Well, no, I was gonna say like that is the quality that makes you pursue the arts as a career, as opposed to like well, all right, this is great. I have climbed this mountain. Right, all done.
I achieved it. We're all
I'm
good
awesome.
here.
How could any drawing be better than this?
Let's conquer the next
off
one.
my hands and off I go.
Yeah,
right.
Perpetual dissatisfaction.
We've got to be tortured. That's us.
Right. Yes.
100.
In college, I was a poetry major, and my professor said that there's a line about poetry where it's like, no poem is ever finished. It is always abandoned in despair. And I was just like, well, this fits my personality.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also seriously love that.
Yeah.
No poem or poet is ever finished. They are just abandoned in despair.
Well, and it's like I tell my students. I'm also a high school teacher, and
Nice.
For them to hear me say "fuckatron," anyway.
What's up?
Yeah. So I tell them, we always like to be lifelong learners. And so, I'd never want to reach that point where I'm totally satisfied, because I'd be like, now what?
Yeah.
So I kind of like that challenge of that never going to reach.
I've espoused this philosophy to some people, especially my kids, that I don't like the whole reaching to be the best, or the strive to be the best, because I mean, for one thing, it's unrealistic. There's always someone better, but also like the focus should be on being better. And whatever better is by comparison to whatever it is you want to be, whether it's just better than yourself or better than the next thing that you want to take it as your challenge or your milestone. But better doesn't end. You can always achieve better, and you can always keep growing. And I feel like it's a better goal than the unrealistic best.
Right.
I think you have an interesting field, though, because it's one of the few fields that you can think of and be like, yeah, most people don't know they're good when they're alive. Like, a lot of famous artists, it's like they die, and then we're all like, oh, but that guy was great, right? Like, it's such a weird... Not a lot of fields like that. No one's like, oh, that IT guy was a genius. Too bad he's dead. Like...
I didn't really appreciate his work until he was gone.
For the most part, you kind of know where you stand in your career while you're alive, except for, like, artists who...
Poor Van Gogh. I mean, he didn't make a dime on his work while he was alive, and then after he dies, it's like, woo.
Yeah, that was directly on my mind, especially as a huge Doctor Who fan. There was an incredible episode dedicated to exactly that. That is like one of the most emotional things I've ever witnessed in my life. And yeah, like it's such a good example.
I do think it's fitting, though, that the society's like, all right, now that there's no danger of us accidentally giving him money,
validation, money,
he can appreciate
happiness. Yeah.
And make lots of other people massive amounts of money off of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
I will say, like, as you say that, I realized, like, I was really having trouble figuring out an answer to this. And I realized, like, for me, I think it's like, it's not that first moment that you realize that you created something and realized it was good. Like, the addictive moment was the first moment that you created something and realized that it was a thing
that you could do.
Yeah.
Like, one thing I did with my daughter last year was she was asking how movies were made. And I started to tell her, and then I was like, oh, wait, everybody has a complete movie studio on their phone.
Right.
So we made a little, like, short movie, like, starring one of her dolls. And then, like, edited it together on iMovie and put music behind it and all that. And, like, the fact that she's like, wait, that's a movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's a real thing. And, like, I can create that with, like, that look on her face was like, that's the thing that's addictive. It's just like, oh, I can create something. It doesn't have to be as good as the real thing.
Right.
It just has to be as real as the real thing.
Because it's still the raw components that lead up to the same thing at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you audition the dolls to see who would get the lead part?
Yeah. It was really unethical too. We charged them for headshots.
To get the full experience.
They wound up hiring the one that his daughter says is her daughter.
Yeah, they're signed to a non-union contract.
Yeah.
It's really
It's a real Nepo baby doll situation.
Yes.
I mean, that's how a movie gets made. You have to show her the whole thing.
Yep. No, and there's some parts you definitely don't want to show her.
Yeah.
Yes.
I assume you mean craft service.
Yeah. No, some of the
sandwich
are
craft
just
food,
horrific. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of the dark side of the entertainment industry, do we have a sponsor for this episode, Michael Hyman? And is the actor union?
Jett, yes, we have a sponsor.
Yep.
No word on whether or not the actor or actors, if there are any involved, are union or not union. Because
all right, we'll just assume the best.
Yeah. We'll just hope for the best and prepare for the worst. So here we go. Hello. Are you suffering from weak bones? Are you suffering from fragile limbs and poor joints? Are you feeling an emptiness in your bones? Well, here comes the calcifier. The calcifier is here to fix all those snap, crackle, and pop sounds that are coming from all parts of your body. Your ribs, your elbows, your knees, your clavicles, all of them. All of your clavicles, more than one of them that are in your body. The calcifier is a new product from Pfizer here to help fix all those problems that you're feeling. We have a slogan here at the calcifier. It's osteo forget about it. We're big fans of mob movies here. Hey, you talking to me? Yeah, we say things like that all the time over at the calcifier. So, make sure you come on down to your local pharmacy where you can pick up the calcifier and speak with our representative, Jack Gyllenhaal. Yes, Jack Gyllenhaal. No relation. We think we've been too afraid to ask. We don't want to make an awkward conversation in the office when we're quoting Goodfellas. So come on down to your pharmacy and pick up the calcifier to fix your bones today.
That sounded a little bit like Trump.
I don't think it sounded like him at all.
No,
it had a Trump train of thought for me. Like, that's sure, that's what's happening.
You got 25 clavicles.
Yeah.
Throw in a few more clavicles.
All the clavicles. Yeah.
It is the absolute
You're
best.
implying that one of the two people you're talking about is making up a bunch of bullshit as they go along.
And the other is Donald Trump.
I do like the move of introducing an endorser and not letting them speak on a radio ad.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a star move in my book.
Well, I thought for sure Burt Lancaster would make an appearance.
Listen, Burt is old and tired, and he needs special occasion. Yeah, he needs to recharge. He's got some time. Some would think that maybe he's already been overtaxed by us in his usage.
Some would think that, but
is that his estate?
A lot of people are saying.
David's got a great old time radio voice to me.
True. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We gotta do some written ads again and get that off and cracking. I like it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the best on wax.
Yeah.
When we release our anniversary album on LP, that'll be great.
Okay, who else has some ideas besides my burritos? What about you, Jett? What do you got?
Oh gosh, that one's hard.
Oh
because,
god, now it's hard. Oh, okay,
no,
cool.
it is because I was trying to think about this, and it's hard to narrow in on things because
doesn't sound like a burrito to me, Jett. Come on.
No, it isn't a burrito. I obviously I had the acting career, but I have never personally
tell us about it. What happened?
I never personally considered my acting to be creating. I felt like it was always like the writer did the creating, the writer and the editor and all that.
You're the vessel.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I read the lines in entertaining ways that other people created. So I could never attach myself to the creating process. So I don't think it was until I started doing things entirely on my own. And I think maybe it would have been
2015. Okay.
Right? Yes. Yep. I just
the year was 2025.
I stumbled upon this burrito stand. Yes. Now it does kind of connect to this, but I feel like when I first started to foray into podcasting years ago, and actually a little bit before that, I was involved in a project called The Odds Must Be Crazy, which was this thing we put together for collecting crazy stories of coincidences on the internet. and putting them out there. And then having, like, we actually had on board a statistician who would kind of like break it down and help us understand, like, what are the actual odds of this kind of thing happening? What are the things people aren't thinking about when they like overplay how dramatic an effect this is, but also was like, let's have fun with this and let's see just how many crazy coincidences there are going on and how they connect with people. And we built a really great website for it and put all the dots together and had this great team, and we had another great artist create art for it. And the website launched and it was really good. And then we had like a podcast called Skepticality come to us. Now, Skepticality was one of the first podcasts ever. They were when Apple debuted the podcast feature of the iPod at that time. Skepticality was one of the podcasts listed on the page during their keynote. Like, that's how big a deal it was. And they came to us and said, "Hey, would you like to do a segment on our show?" And so for the first time ever, I had to help co-write and produce and host and edit a podcast segment for one of the oldest podcasts on the internet. It actually like sounded good and came together well, and it was amazing to create something like that out of nowhere that like worked. And was heard by, like, I think tens of thousands of people. I have no idea what the listenership was, but it was really, really exciting. And like that was a moment for me of, oh, I could do this. And so when this came around, that was the history I had that made it work.
Quick question. So you have no idea how many people heard it, but you're just assuming it's tens of thousands of people.
Skepticality is a really big show.
Yeah. It's the oldest podcast on the internet.
Yeah.
Did you know?
Aside from Asking Ninja.
I know that podcast.
Yeah. It was the number one podcast on iTunes. So it has been listened to by upwards of 0 people.
Super.
All right, Jett, get my back on this, okay? It's the third time that you and I have left to go watch a movie with leaving Michael Hyman alone in the house, and it's the third time we've come back and all the cheese is fucking missing. I'm accusing this guy of eating all the cheese.
I ate the cheese.
There you go.
Legit.
Yeah.
This Law and Order on Cubo is they really just get to the point.
Hyman definitely murdered that scene by being a good improviser. Yes.
Yes, I did.
Yep. And I'll do it again.
Yeah. Wait. New choice. Go.
I didn't eat the cheese.
It was me. I ate the cheese.
Legit.
Go, Steven. I see your hand.
Steven, you were trying to say something.
Yes. Steven's hand has an idea.
No, I was just talking about how I was thinking about too how like we talk about how when you create something you never know until like long term how that thing is going to be received out in the world. And I think those of us who have children, should our children at some point listen to these episodes or those just know we are proud of you. At this point, still prototype stages.
We don't know how badly we screwed it up yet. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I think you could tell pretty early. Based on some children I see.
Well, Jett, I feel like yours are on the verge of hard launch.
Yes.
Yeah, Compton and I are still in the like early stages.
Yeah. We're still working our way to basically pretending we're parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But aren't those the best years where you're like, this could go either way?
It depends on what you mean by best.
Yeah.
Because there's sometimes when you're like, this could go either way, but I think I know the way it's going, and that's not good.
That should be like, instead of these gender reveal parties, it should be somewhere around like 12.
Yes.
Where it's like, you cut into a cake and it's like a shitty human.
Super.
All right, everybody, we're gathered here for Timmy's Sweet or Shitty 16.
Yo.
We're gonna cut into the cake to find out whether he's going to wind up being a kind human being who shows empathy for those around him and contributes to society, or whether he's going to be a real, well, another way to put it, piece of shit.
I would just like to say that as his mother, I want all of you to know that we tried our best. we tried our best. We don't have any idea which way this might go, but just, we want you to know that it's not our fault.
What color of cake signals shitty human being?
Brown.
Yeah. Okay, so chocolate, got it.
That's very on the nose. Okay.
Pretty literal,
It's unfortunately, before you take it is not chocolate. It's just brown.
Yeah.
It just tastes like brown.
It's brown. It just, turns out if you mix all the food coloring together, that's what you get is just brown. So.
Okay, Timmy.
Not that I know how this is. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
So
everybody's seen the pictures of your Easter eggs from past Easters.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I think I know this is gonna go.
Ali, here's what I'm saying. You're going to the party anyways. You need to give a gift. Give him the joy of a pet rock. Timmy needs a friend. A pet rock will be fine.
It just feels like I'm pushing off my oldest friend on someone else,
Again with this other friend thing. Jeez.
Amy,
all right, keep going. Sure.
No, listen. Honestly, at this point, I feel like you're becoming the problem.
Allie, I'm getting feeling Amy wants to break up with me, but not sure she knows how to say it.
I just get...
Has been, slowly pushing me, slow fade kind of thing.
She asked me to ask you if you would just get in this cake.
Oh.
She said it's a surprise.
Oh, okay, all right.
You're gonna like the ending.
Spot GGG. Don't spend all that time in drawer without learning how to be accepting.
So
I get it.
Tough day, buddy? Can I get you another drink?
The toughest.
Trust me, I've heard it all. Let me guess. It's a woman, right?
In a sense. In a sense. Can I get another whiskey on ice?
Sure. Sure, on ice. Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah.
We did a whole training on this.
Barkeep, I need you when you get a second. Barkeep.
Oh yeah. Here you go. I'll be right back. And hey, it gets better.
But I'm not French. I don't want to say Rochambeau. That's not how I was raised.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you. But the HR people were just in here, and that does not go over.
They're not
okay?
French either. I don't. Let's just do it. Look, I don't want to have to close the bar tonight, okay? We're going to do rocks, paper, scissors, and whoever loses has to close the bar.
I still hear.
Hey, but the next one's on me.
He doesn't even have any ears. I don't understand why we're catering to it.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
This is like the body commentary is like this is one of the big things. You should have shown up for the meeting.
That's
okay?
science.
They do pay us for the All-Star.
I'm not making an opinion. This is not me hitting on anybody. I'm not being rude. He doesn't actually have any ears.
Wait,
He didn't lose his ears in an accident. He's a rock.
If a guy came in here with no legs and you said he doesn't have any legs, that wouldn't seem rude.
If I saw a fox walk into the bar and I said he doesn't have any feathers, that's not rude.
First of all, you shouldn't call him a fox. It's on that list. We have that list behind the bar that we leave up there.
This is why I work in a bar.
So even our customers can behave like
But I do
human
appreciate the compliment.
Oh my God, Carl, not now. Okay, listen, I work in a bar, so I don't have to do this shit, okay?
Look.
You have me in a fucking V-neck top, bending over, getting glasses, because that makes us more money, but I can't notice that this rock doesn't have ears?
We are required in this bar to observe all human kindnesses that have no effect on our income.
He's not human! We don't have to give him human kindness.
Barkeep, I need your advice when you get a chance.
Oh, give me 1 second. Yes. Can I help you, sir?
Yeah. First of all, let me get a whiskey on the ice, please. One for me and one for my gentleman friend here.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
You're a certified psychiatrist, seeing as you're a bartender.
I am. I am a licensed to practice in California, certified psychologist who graduated from Stanford Medical School. And could you put a napkin under that?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Let me run this scenario, but in front of you, and you can just. So, I'm one of these students at Second City, and I don't know if you've seen the show. It's called I Got. It's very good, and
yeah.
And
almost perfect.
I walked in on two of who I thought were beloved teammates, and they said that they felt they had to carry me for the whole show. I know I was good. How do I tell them that it was me? It was 2 footsteps, and it was my footsteps carrying them the whole time.
Look, I want to tell you something.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Me just rock over here in corner, but I think joke would be footprints, not footsteps.
That's true.
Footsteps are things you hear, even if you have no ears.
Now, if God was a Foley artist, it could work that way. I don't want to get into hypotheticals here.
Listen, I'm finishing stocking up and I'm leaving. I'm not closing the bar tonight. This is becoming a very toxic work environment, HR, okay? If that's what you need.
We're technically not allowed to use the word toxic because...
They taught it to me.
I know, but it refers to some of the chemicals that have gotten on our glasses in the past. We don't want to remind people that we may have caused continuous vomiting for a 72-hour period.
Now, are we listening to, like, licensing and food handling, or are we listening to HR? Who trumps who? Who's the rock, paper, scissors in this situation?
Let's not bring politics into this. She's making this hostile.
I know this may seem crazy to live in this world that we live in now. It's a lot to get your head around. But can't we all take one moment to just be kind to each other when it has no effect on any financial issue whatsoever? Look, if there's a cost involved, we don't care. We don't care at all. We will throw every single thing that is even remotely human. Is that okay? Out in the garbage. But if it is meaningless and cost-free, our company feels passionately about it.
This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
If I had hands, would clap.
Oh my God.
Starting speech.
Thank you.
I just kind of jump up and down against bar, make knocking.
Yeah, you are scratching the.
It's a paperweight.
I'll put a napkin.
Oh, thank you.
Legit.
And I will say to the person who was carried in it, the real truth is that it was sketch comedy.
His name was Bob.
It was sketch comedy, so everything was objectively unwatchable.
No, and here's what I will say to diffuse anything. Chris is talking about me, and I'm talking about Chris.
The reason why we haven't named names.
It's the O. Henry tale.
Yeah.
The best thing about this question is this is like a podcast full of people who have all worked together on different things and then are naming like what is a great thing you worked on and not naming things that the other people were involved in. So I think this is where everybody is having a little trouble.
I mean, I literally said I painted a rock, so I think I missed the mark on this one a little bit here.
Good. Mine's from very young too, though. Like I have a very young one too, which was
Jen.
Mine was
Better not be a burrito.
There I was with a tortilla, some meats, and lettuce. No. When I was like 11 or so, my grandmother, who I didn't know very well, died. And I didn't know her. But I was like, I should be sad about this person. But I just literally didn't know her. So I wrote a poem about my grandma dying.
And 11 is a great age for that because you have all of the feelings.
You really do have them all. And that kicked off. I was like, I can write poetry about my feelings. And then I entered into my terrible poetry years, which lasted most of my high school. And I tortured my friends with readings that they didn't want. And that was like the first time I ever wrote something, period. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is an artistic expression of my insides that I'm putting on the outside that is coming, that's just like me and a piece of paper. And I felt really, it wasn't that it was good, because I don't think art should have to be good, but it was honest about, and I feel like at the very least, when you're creating something at least artistic, it should be, if it's honest, it's going to feel good, because it's like having a muse poop. Like, do you know what I mean?
I believe that's a dish before the appetizer.
Isn't that an appetizer?
Yes, it might be. Do you know what I mean? Like something you have an experience, it fills you with feelings, and you need to get it out some way that isn't just like talking about it. Expressing it in like an artistic form has this very satisfying. I mean, the word poop keeps coming into my head.
Yeah.
But it's got like a satisfying, like, it's out of my system now.
It was inside of you, and now it's a solid form.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's,
Amen.
Yeah. So that was my first, and it was about not feeling anything about her death.
Super. Jett, first of all, on behalf of me and Michael and David, we want to say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
We were just thinking about your death.
Uh-huh.
And how it would be if you were dead.
And how soon that would be.
And you know what? Just like we assume that we would be the pallbearers at your funeral. Never mind your wife, your kids would be us. Ooh. So what would you, don't woo me until we're done here. Okay. What would you want us to say for your dealie? Like, we can work it here, and then Hyman can give one of it, and I can give another part of it, and then David could draw like a mural of you, and like, you know, we can just do this now. Okay. I know we still got a long time to go, but like we can start workshopping
maybe
this
we'll
your
see.
Death now. Okay, like we're out, we're here, we're at Killer Shrimp, we're enjoying the night. Let's talk about your death.
Okay, all right, yeah, no, that does sound like the kind of way we spend our time.
We're gathered here today to pay tribute in loving memory of, what was your name again?
It's Jett.
Jett.
Yeah.
Someone who has had such an incredible impact on all of our lives, and whose death was a real tragedy.
New choice.
Whose death was a real foreseeable moment. And one that I think all of us saw coming from a million miles away. But death is not an end, it is a beginning.
New choice.
Death is not an end or a beginning. It is the solid middle of our continuous existence in the universe.
Pastor Rick, they just hired you and just kept shouting at you the entire time to change it up as you went?
Yep. Yeah, I have to say it was the most honest sermon response I've ever gotten in my life. I mean, I get up there and bore the living hell out of people every Sunday morning.
New choice.
Mm-hmm. I get up there and just drive people into shame, into pits of shame every Sunday morning. Because what else is there to do? We could be sleeping. We decided to throw away God's good sleep to come in here.
Allie. I think I've made a mistake. I saw Pet Rock at the funeral. He just, is it me or did he look good? He looked good.
He has a fresh coat of paint, for sure.
Right? You saw that, right? Like,
yeah, his spots are like
6 little pebbles, like just
so
nice
light.
and tight. Like it's.
Can I give you some advice?
New choice.
Legit.
Yep, that's correct. Oh, I'm sorry I started that game.
Jen, I do love what you're saying about the point of art is not to be good. Like, it doesn't have to be good to be like useful art. I think like getting that in your head, like when you're playing with an instrument that you don't know how to play because you don't know how to play any instruments. But the first time you like get something that resembles a song,
yeah,
and you're like, wait, I did that, and that's art.
It is art.
That's beautiful.
I mean, think about I don't know how to say the French name, but the caves that are in France of all the horses and the hands and stuff.
Oh,
yeah. Let's go. Thank you. That is art, right? Yeah. That is art. Who were they selling to? You know what I mean? It's like, what was that for? It was to express their experiences of being a person in that place at that time.
Although now I do like the idea of like an interior designer being like trying to sell this cave to the new tribe, and the hands are just.
Yeah, there we go.
Super.
But what are the schools like around here?
No, it is. Let me tell you, it is the best area. There's this little lake, and there are hardly any animals in it. And the children just get in, and they learn how to bathe themselves.
There aren't any animals because we do want to be able to eat.
Oh no, there's animals to hunt.
So we can hunt, and there's fish to have that we can put over the fire.
Only a handful of children have been eaten by an animal.
Oh, only a handful. That's wonderful. We've already lost a handful, so that's great.
Right, and just last week we thought we saw a spark of fire coming from one of them. So any day now, we might have some fire bringers amongst the, you heard me. Yep.
Wow. I thought it was just gossip amongst the locals.
Oh, hey! Oh my gosh! Are you guys looking at investing in the caves here?
We're looking around.
Yeah, we.
I will say, I love this area. It is so great. Hey, Org down the street has a wheel. So this neighborhood, it's only going up. So just know, there's a lot.
It's the next big system. The next big cave system.
Do you guys mind if I talk to my husband alone for a minute? And when I say husband,
I gotta go run in the forest after a deer until it passes.
We're just gonna step over here for 1 second. And when I say husband, I mean the guy that dragged me in by the hair several years ago, and now I am obliged to stay with. Anyway,
I wait, but I don't want to drop her.
Honey, I think this area is becoming gentrified.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Like, how much are we going to pay for this cave?
I know.
And then, what's going to happen? There's already a guy with a wheel here.
Exactly.
And the fire burners are coming. I don't know what to do with fire.
Yeah. Wait, what are we going to do? Fire, bad. Fire.
That is what my mother always said to me. Fire, bad.
Exactly.
And the wheel, I'm sorry, but the wheel, that is the devil's work.
Exactly. If God had meant things to be round,
there'd be more of things that were round, and they're just aren't. Not that round.
Exactly. No.
That's what. Look, I'm into the cave.
Right.
And I love the artwork. It's incredible.
Yeah. The artwork's good. My commute to outside of the cave looks like it's really short.
It seems very short. It's only a few feet.
And I will say, the market these days, oh man, that's my one thing. Is should we jump on it now just to jump on anything?
You're right. The last place we look at was just like a bush by the side of the river.
Exactly.
And that wasn't even shelter.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, that's those neighbors. You got one neighbor with fire.
Exactly.
And then another one moves in, and then another.
And then everything's on fire.
Exactly.
Hello.
Exactly.
Hello, you look like a lovely couple. Have you heard of the Church of Former Day Saints?
Actually, I think we're good.
Yeah.
We're gonna. It looks like there's the shade of a birch tree outside. That seems like a good deal.
I think we're just gonna take the shade of the birch tree.
Yeah.
We'll just settle under here.
Sure. They always say no. Damn it.
Legit.
Well, that's that I think brings us to the end of our show, guys.
New choice.
Yeah.
That definitely brings us to the end of our show, guys.
Same choice is my favorite impression.
Decided to be a little more decisive. Michael Hyman, why don't you bring it all home for us?
Thank you as always to Matt Walker for our intro and outro music. This episode was hosted by Jett Kaufman, edited by Jett and Chris Sanders, and co-hosted by me, Michael Hyman. Every scene you heard today was improvised on the spot, along with some of the ads with only a light touch of editing for your comfort. If you're loving what we're doing, pause real quick, write a 5-star review before you close the app, and tell your friends about us. Tonight's regular cast included Josh Spence, Stephen C. James, Jen Burton, Chris Compton, Ali Marr, and a very special guest, David Burk. David, do you have anywhere you'd like people to be pointed to see your art online, or follow you or promote?
Everyone can follow me on Instagram at dburkillustration.
Great. We will make sure there's a link in the show notes.
It's BURK.
Yes, BURK. That's right. But we'll put a link in the show notes as well, so they can go straight to it. Seriously, David has done amazing work for us. We love our logo. It gets compliments all over the place. It pops, and Josh has given us all kinds of fantastic merchandise with the logo all over it. It's fantastic. So thank you for being a part of this, and now being directly a part of it, David.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right.
I hope you're as excited by hearing your voice on the podcast as we are hearing it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to listen to this at all.
He's listened to his last episode.
Oh, you've been promoted to cast.
Perfect.
All right, that's it for our episode, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll hear you all on the
Jett?
next one. Yes. Yeah. What's up, Josh?
Jett?
Yes.
New choice.
Michael Scott, FBI. That's for David.
Thank you.
I don't believe anything's on. Oh my time. I kicked the door on its hinges just so I could move on. Oh, oh,
This thing is scrolling. Episode has ended.
I'd be your pet rock anytime.
Oh, it's so nice to see you guys.
Yeah, I have these little banners at the bottom, Allie, mainly just for you.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Do you see how excited I got?
Yes. It's a little visual reminder. Don't get too comfortable yet.
Recording is still going on. That's fine. You can keep it.
Yeah.
That's on you. That's not my problem.
Now, go from reading the bottom of the screen, read your note again, and then read the bottom of the screen again.
Don't talk about drugs, Allie.
You did really good. You didn't talk about drugs at all.
And then it also says Moulin Burrito.
Oh my God, Moulin Burrito.
Burrito.
So good.
I feel like I should have warmed up. So I was out sick from work. Monday I threw up at work and then I was sick, which is funny because I actually am finally, after like a year and a half of being really sick, I'm good now. I just got a stomach virus. So I'll take that over anything. So I feel I'm fine if it's just, I'm a teacher. I get sick all the time with random things, but had just been feeling good. Anyway, I stayed home all week from work because I had a really bad stomach thing that I still kind of have, but my energy's back. But today, like 3 hours ago, Andrew's like, I don't feel so good. And we have a small space. So I was going to get off of this one and let him go to bed early because I don't want to be screaming and yelling while he's sick. But
that is fair.
It's weird how that happens.
Very
like
nice.
Allie was super nice to send me some pills to feel better, which they definitely worked.
Were they drugs? Because she didn't want to talk about drugs on that.
Drums. They were drums.